I manage a warehouse that has me operating machinery and there's heavy boxes. Everything is metal or concrete. Very, very, I would say, hazardous environment for particularly fragile things, such as potentially iPhones. I've had this phone for a very, very, very long time. You can see by the back, it's but today, unfortunately, while at work, I dropped it its final time. It now, for whatever reason, decides that it's going to turn off and then turn back on again at random intervals in between 5 and 10 minutes. I decided that I was going to go to the Apple store after I got done with work stuff to get a new phone, but the process of it just did it. It just decided to do it. Our first stop on this journey happened to be Wendy's. So I knew that this was going to take a while. I knew that the wait times at the Apple store are usually like at least 45 minutes up to like a couple of hours. And it's like a Friday afternoon. The mall is going to be busy. I don't want to eat in the food court. I'm just going to get food on the way there. So I go and I get food from Wendy's. What I normally get is the Wendy's chicken sandwich because I know it doesn't mess my stomach up. I have a somewhat sensitive tummy. I'm annoyed. I broke my phone. I have to go get a new one. I want a burger. I want a Wendy's Baconator. And I make the mistake of getting a double. Biggest mistake I know. There's cheese on it. Cheese upsets my stomach. I don't eat like fast food beef that much anymore. I know this. I'm just like, you know what? I'm already gonna be miserable in this mall. Biggest mistake of the day, because this will come up. I go to the Kenwood Town Center, one of like the only malls in America that probably still exists. I begrudgingly drive my way there after eating this Wendy's double Baconator on the way there. This is the Apple store I am in, okay? There's no indication of where I'm supposed to go to purchase the phone, which is so obnoxious. Everybody in an Apple shirt is helping somebody else, which like it's good for them, but it's unclear. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. And my tummy is rumbling at this point. We've got a little bit of gurgle starting. Finally, somebody come free at the front of the store and is very clearly supposed to like pointing people in the directions that you're supposed to go. So I go, and he was not there when I arrived. But now I see this guy after kind of meandering around and trying to like force eye contact with Apple employees, staring at people like help. So I finally go up to this guy and he's like, oh yeah, just stand at that table and someone will be over to talk to you. Because he's like, do you know what phone you want? And I'm like, no, I need to be able to just transfer my SIM card. It needs to like not be that expensive. I just need to purchase a new phone. And I say it in the most weird way possible. He turns to me and he's like, oh, you could just stand over at that table. Do you know which phone that you would like to get? A perfectly reasonable way for this guy to approach the situation. And I, awkward in this Apple store, I turn to this man and go, no, I don't know which phone I want, but I have some stipulations that I have in mind. Who says that? No, fine young gentleman, I do not know which phone that I would like to purchase, but I do have some very specific stipulations. Like who? I don't even know. I don't ever use that word in my daily life. How did my brain pick that word out of the ether? I just want to make sure that my phone, that all of the pictures and all of the music and all of my contacts from this phone will go onto the new phone. That's the stipulations that I have, and I don't know how that works. And he said, you could go stand over there at that table. So bro set me in the corner where I belonged. And so finally, the lady who ends up helping me, who is at a different table displaying phones, clearly sees me just standing there, not looking at the phones. And I'm standing there like I was instructed to. And she goes, are you looking to buy a phone? And I go, yes. And she goes, you could come over here now. And I was like, okay. By this point, I have to I am clenching. And so I go to the woman and she's like, what color do you want? I like the deep forest green. That sounds good. Let's do the deep forest green. She goes, okay, we'll put in a request for somebody to bring out one of the deep forest greens. And I'm just kind of standing there, just kind of like, and I stick out like a sore thumb next to these other people, and it's so funny. It's like this like very young, very well-dressed lady who's buying a new phone, and then there's this other very muscular gym bro type guy who's trying to get AT&T to switch his phone over, and then there's me, who I just came from the warehouse. My hands are dirty. I cut my hand today. I'm sweating because it's hot outside and I was working in the warehouse and I have to shit unbelievably badly. And I'm in sweatpants and like a Brooklyn t-shirt, and I'm just standing there with my hands behind my back like an old man. I'm now just recalling it, and it's gotta look so funny. They probably tell everybody these options, but then she goes, so do you want to finance the phone today? And I was like, no, let me just tap my card. Just give me the phone with no stipulations, please. I've got a I was told to scan a QR code. First, I'm scanning the code, and the code is working, but there's still two people being helped next to me, which is fine. But the phone turns on and off. It just did it. It's doing it. It just did it again. And I get to a spot where it's like, the Apple employee will help you now. And then the phone turns off. And I was like, hey, I have to scan it again. My phone turned off. She's like, oh, that's fine. And I get to the thing again where it's like, hey, the Apple employee will help you. And I was like, okay. This happens 3 times. So finally, I'm able to get through the steps. The one woman is gone, and the guy's on the phone with AT&T. I have this woman's full, undivided iPhone attention. And we go through the whole process. Everything finally works. I get to unbox the phone. And I pull the phone out so we can get everything set up on the new phone. If you remember from the beginning of the story, she asked me if I wanted what color I wanted. And I specifically said, I think I would like deep forest green. This is not green. This is blue. But at this point, I don't care. I am about to myself. It has taken me 5 times to get this new phone transferred. I am sweating profusely because I'm just awkward and don't like being in this situation. And I open the phone and I'm like, ooh, it's gonna be green. And then I open it and it's blue. And I'm like, in this scenario, after all of the time that was just spent getting my phone to connect to the new phone system, and she like scans this barcode on the back of the new phone, or the new phone box that it comes in, and like it's this whole thing. It's this whole process. Do I now go, I wanted green, and in my heart of hearts, I don't care what color the phone is. I'm probably just gonna get a Pokemon case to put on the back of it. It's giving up big mom I foo up vibes. Exactly. I don't want to be that guy. I probably went in at around 3 o'clock. It's now 4 o'clock at this time. There's like fucking teenagers coming into the Apple store now. I'm gonna myself because of this Wendy's Baconator. I can totally picture you all sweaty and puckered staring at a poor woman dead in the eyes and saying, not green. I just give me out of this Apple store. Finally, we get to the point where I have to log in to my Apple Cloud. Thankfully, apparently this was like a miracle according to the Apple store lady, that the broken phone like backed everything up to the cloud last night at like 11:45 p.m. or something. It's now been an hour and a half, up to an hour and 45 minutes since I have consumed this Baconator, and it's in my colon, let me tell you. My new phone is like, it's gonna take 10 minutes to download all of your data from the iCloud onto this phone, and finally, I turn to this woman. Would it be okay if I use the restroom real quick? She goes, no, that's fine. You can use the bathroom. I go to leave the store because I'm going to go use the public restroom for the mall. And she goes, oh no, you can use, there's a bathroom in here. Okay, I'll use the bathroom in here, ma'am. I'll use the potty in the Apple store. They probably let people use this bathroom. This is not a isolated occurrence. They don't want people to leave the store because they want to create sales. In my head, I'm thinking this is like a full like public restroom. It's not like a public restroom. It's the employee bathroom. This girl looks like she's kissing this guy. That's kind of funny. But this here, this is a door that leads out into a hallway. Like the iPad that they use to clock in, presumably, is like in this back room. And I'm like, oh no. I go into the men's bathroom and it's not a public bathroom and there's no lock on the bathroom door. It's the stall that locks. I am now in a situation where I am going to absolutely destroy this employee restroom in an Apple store. So anybody who works in this establishment, any one of them can just walk in and they're just gonna just I absolutely my guts out as fast as I possibly can to avoid the nightmare scenario where an employee comes in and has to use the bathroom as well. And like, it was not that fast. Like you would know if like, hold on, I'm gonna go take a piss, wash my hands. It was not that much time. The Apple employee knew. And at this point, another employee has come up to the table, co-worker gossip, asking about the woman who's helping me's wedding planning, you know, normal like employee behavior. So now there are two employees and the guy who's still on the phone with AT&T having problems that also still there and knows when I went to the bathroom. So there is at least 3 people who know that I have stood here awkwardly to purchase the phone, and then I went to the bathroom. That poor woman knew that I absolutely shit my brains out in her employee. Well, not her. I don't think she's using the men's restroom. Just absolutely blowing up that employee bathroom. So yeah, everything works. All of my texts are on here, all of my contacts, all of my photos. The employee was very, very helpful. That is the story of how I got a new iPhone 13 today and absolutely shit my guts out in the employee bathroom of an Apple store.